What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here. And today I'm doing my what if. Basically, what if Deku was the Iron Spartan? Or basically, what if he was adopted by Iron Man? Now, some of you guys probably some of you guys been probably wondering, why am I including a Spartan at all? It doesn't seem like I included a Spartan. Well, you're right and you're wrong at both things. It's both a good and a bad part about it. You see, what I'm doing is kind of like, how would I say this? I'm making Deku a Spartan, or someone who understood Spartan culture and their history. Not only that, I'm also doing something to where, since Deku now has his powers, and when I mean his powers, I actually mean kinetic and his energy, a weird energy, kinetic energy. It's not how do I say this? It's not a quirk, all right? Let's get this out of the way. It's not a quirk, it's a power that he has obtained. And you guys may say, that's kind of weird and all that stuff. Well, think of this. You have somebody who can get very angry and possibly immortal just because he did a little science experiment. You have somebody who somewhat has a little battery for a heart. Don't quote me on that part. You have somebody who was skinny, who turned into a man that the gods have created with chiseled abs. That kind of thing. So I was kind of doing more of a Marvel spin with Deku. Now, what was I going to say? Ah, crap. Okay, so I forgot what I was going to... Sheesh. Let's see. Alright. So, now that I remember what I was going to say, here's what's going to happen. Deku, after the first month, it was kind of hard for him to get along with Iron Man. I mean, they got along perfectly, but it was more the fact that Deku, well, he's not used to having having a family. And shout out to you guys who told me about Jarvis and all that stuff. I just said Jarvis because Jarvis is something, I don't know, he's a character that I like, even though he's an AI, or he's a virtual reality thing, or an AI, as most people call it. I just like the name Jarvis, and I like the British accent, so yeah. Now, kinetic energy and kinetic charge are basically his powers. He can store up a force of energy, such as a punch, and take all the kinetic energy and then give it back to them, or do it the same way. Think of Astra's Wrath, where basically every time he punches, it gets stronger and stronger until the last blow, he unleashes the whole power, kind of like that. So I hope that actually you guys understand this. Oh yeah, not only that, I also want you guys to know this. Thank you all for, well, you know, being in this in the season, or being in my, or subscribing to me. Thank you for all that. It's nice. I don't know how to explain this correctly. I fully appreciate it. It's been a while, but yeah, thank you guys. Now anyway, what was I okay, so Deku somewhat starts to learn how to fly with the suit, but he always keeps failing, and that is because he's not used to it. The first time was just not on instinct. It was more the fact that he knew he was going to die. So it was more of the fact that he had to somewhat become better at it. And luckily, after watching Heroes and all that stuff, of course he did. And it did take a toll on him the moment he found out that he killed someone. But at the same time, in his mind, it doesn't actually affect him because, yeah, why is he going to get mad for killing someone who literally was going to kill who was literally possibly going to kill someone else? So yeah, after all that stuff, he talks to Stark and he says, Mr. Stark, sir, why did you have me here? Literally out of anyone else, out of all the best quirks, you chose me. I'm not saying that it's dumb, I'm just saying there's better options. And this is when... Oh yeah, I forgot to say, the downside to his power is that the kinetic energy bounces all over his body, so he has to maintain it somewhat. Like, he has to get used to it. So if he gets punched or if he bumps into somebody, the kinetic energy bounces around him for a while, and it's like different kinds of feelings. So he has to get used to it, or he has to tame it or control it to be in one certain spot. Now that's out of the way, Deku has been also using the shield and spear. What do I mean? I mean that Deku has been actually training to be a Spartan. Now, he's been fighting robots, or basically robots that have been there. He's actually been to different places and actually started to train. And how would I say this? He's learned how to use the arms of Iron Man and the legs. It's just the whole torso and the robotic movement and all that stuff. So Tony Stark basically gave him nanotech. And Tony said, listen here, kid, you're going to be using your power, and I somewhat maintained it for you. Now, I've also taken your shield and your spear and actually upgraded it a bit. And this is when Deku says, what do you mean? And this is when he says, well, kid, let me tell you this. I got you a basic suit, which may look kind of weird at first, but this is actually nanotech. Oh yeah, I already made nanotech. And this is when Deku was like, nanotech? Because think of this. In the world of My Hero Academia, there's no such thing as nanotech. Like, they heard of it, but it's not like how Iron Man's suit is. Basically, you can like not regrow it, but like, it's a weird thing. But nanotech, and he made it to somewhat be more alive. With Deku's suit, basically, after adding in some different elements to it, and only that, different alien species. Believe me, this is going to be weird, but basically, Deku's suit is alive. Deku's suit also has the ability to somewhat adapt with Deku. So, after now studying Deku's blood and studying the genes that have been transformed, they've also transformed its understanding to now where the suit will not get destroyed if Deku uses his power. So basically, if he punches something and shoots out the kinetic force, it's not going to hit the suit. Basically, it's allowed it to now move freely. Kind of like how Venom does it with his, like how Venom does his whole thing, where he shoots, webs and all that stuff. So it's a weird thing, all right? Let me just at least have my piece right here. But yeah, after all that, Deku has been training for the past 10 months, and Iron Man, or basically Stark, says this: you're actually pretty lucky, kid. Most people in America usually would, be in school for at least 3 months. or at least we'll get out of school and come back for 3 months. But you guys have, how would I say, hold on, let me see, oh yeah, you guys, you know, how do you guys say it, 10 months, it's really weird. And this is when Deku says, yeah, I know, it's, I don't understand America, or their policies and all that stuff, but I think it's a good place to live in. And he says, oh, and this is when he says, yeah, my dad used to do work over there, and he pretty much liked it. And this is when he says, oh, really? Well, that's nice. Sorry about the whole talk about your dad, kid. But anyway, you don't know how to use the whole flying mechanism, so it's kind of weird for you because you don't know how to use it properly. I somewhat made it to where you have something in the suit where it kind of balances you, so now you don't have to somewhat, you know, flail your arms. Because Deku did do that. What I mean by that, I mean Deku actually somewhat moved around and basically somewhat was just flying all over the place until he kept hitting everything, which probably costed millions of dollars. But Stark, you know, he cares, but he really doesn't care. So it's good, alright? Now, Deku, after, how would I say this? After a couple of days in, how would I say this? Well, after spending a couple of days of looking at the freaking suit mechanisms, he also decided to take the spear and shield, which are also nanotech, have been, well, changed. So Deku's arms are basically going to either have bracelets or a bracer on it. And you know what? Shout out to Dio, because he kind of helped me out with that whole situation. You know, because I didn't understand what bracers and greaves are. I got them actually reversed. I thought greaves were something for your arms, but no, there's something for your legs. So you know what, Dio? Thank you. But don't worry, Dio. I'll put your name. I'll put your name on other things. And you too, Lasto. And don't forget the pervert Loki. They're not going. Oh, I hope they're not going to watch this video. I now hope for that. But oh yeah. After Deku, what was I going to say? After Deku got the spear and shield, he found out that this is a weird kind of metal. It feels lighter, but it looks like it's durable. Stark told him about everything, about, well, different things, and Deku decides, you know, fair enough, he's not going to question anything else. But Deku, some of you guys wanted me to give him the Spider-Man suit, or the 8 limbs, which I would give him the 8 limbs. I'm just not going to give him the Spider-Man thing. I mean, Deku's more of a Spartan kind of thinker, or he's actually been studying up more on it to where he actually likes having heavier armor, and like it feels like he actually has something to protect himself with. Not only that, with the whole fact that him training with Stark's realizing some problems in his suit mechanisms and learning how to, you know, make it better. So it's kind of working out for him. You know, he's training, and not only that, he's actually understanding hand-to-hand combat. Well, at least good hand-to-hand combat. And not only that, Deku's actually learned to, you know, make his suit appear and disappear. Now, that's been the whole 10 months. He's learned about a lot of things. Lasers, you know, shooting out high destructo beams. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, now let's see what else I could say about this. And the only thing I could say about it was... oh yeah. So after Deku's return to UA, and actually Stark, you know, talked with the school and says his quote-unquote child is actually going to be in the school. Now, my first plan was to think about putting him in America, but I am not very good with keeping names, and even if I write them down, I'm literally going to mess it up. So, yeah. But I am going to put some ideas into what I'm going to do. Deku has an anger issue. After losing everyone, and not only that, after this new power, it somewhat affected his mind. He's become a little bit more brash, but he is still Deku. So, when Deku went to the first part of school, he tripped. Ochako got him up, but this is when Deku just says, thank you. I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. And Ochako's like, but my name is, golly, I really need to get his name. While Deku was in school, was inside the whole, exam, there was Bakugo, and Deku felt scared at first, but at the same time, he didn't actually feel it anymore. Bakugo says, hey, what do you want? I thought you were supposed to not be in here. And this is when Deku says, look, I've been through a lot right now. Can you just knock it off for one day? That's all I'm asking. It's just for one day where I don't have to hear you talk. And this is when Bakugo says, you have a lot of gut talking to me like that. Don't you remember? You're a weakling. You're not supposed to talk back to me. And this is when this is when Ida starts talking and just starts berating these two. And Deku just says, okay, who are you? And this is when Ida says, oh, my apologies. My name is Ida Tenya, shooting my arm out like it's about to die. Deku just looks at him and says, Ida, could you please piss off? And they're all like, oh, well, okay, this kid's kind of mad. Bakugo's all like, okay, so he kind of has some balls on him. Yeah, he's got nuts. This is when Ida's like, oh, geez, golly, I'm a little offended. Deku just says, look, I've been through enough problems right now. I don't need no one's crap. And this is when Bakugo says, you think what I was talking about was crap? No. I would never think that. I am just thinking right now that everything you're saying doesn't actually matter to me. That's what I'm saying. And Bakugo takes this as offense. He is about to punch him, but Deku just pretty much says, we're literally in a show right now. Do you really want to go at it? And this is when Bakugo just... I'm sorry, guys. Sorry about that. He pretty much just says, why? I really want to punch him, but right now I just... Deku is pretty much angry, and he doesn't know what to do anymore. It's pretty much... Deku is at this point to where he's lost so much. How would I say this? To live his life is nothing more than a miracle. Deku just decides not to fight. And not only that, he pretty much just says, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to do anything at all. And this is when Bakugo says, thought so. Deku got a little angry about that, but he kept his eyes focused. And afterwards, the whole "Are you ready?" gets set. And this is when Deku is pretty much was about to talk to Ochako, and Ida doesn't actually bother him right now because he got mad. To put oil or put gasoline into the fire is nothing more than just starting something you probably are not gonna finish. So, Deku actually starts running. But with the, he's actually has some armor on him, which is actually meant to weigh him down. You see, because he's using armor, he's using Iron Man's suit, which pretty much, how would I say this? He's pretty much used the helmet, let's see, the greaves, and the bracers. Pretty much the arms, legs, and, well, arms, legs, and hands. Iron Man is watching with Captain America, not with Captain America, with All Might. Sorry about that. He says, so, who do you think's going to win? And All Might says, ha! It's good to see you, old man. It's good to see you, old friend. Because Iron Man actually talked to All Might. Well, he's talked to All Might before. And this is when pretty much Deku, not Deku, Iron Man says, yes, it's been a while. But you know what? Let me say this. I think my kid's going to win. And this is when All Might says, oh, he's going to win. Well, that's something. Who is he? Well, I don't have his face right now on my picture or screen. And this is when he pretty much says, hold on here. Puts up his watch, and it shows a picture of Deku. All Might's kind of surprised because this is like, All Might says, wait a minute, him? If I remember the last time, he told me once that he was quirkless. And this is when Stark says, you may think he's quirkless, but I can tell you right now, this kid's something else. I mean, yeah, he's kind of a little weird at times. He's rough around the edges, but you could smooth him out at times. Problem is, nobody gave him a chance. He said, you didn't give him a chance. He really wanted to have some kind of, how would I say this? He wanted to have some kind of, what's the word? Oh, okay. He wanted to have someone put their faith in him, but no one did. I guess he really wanted to be, like, he wanted to have somebody, rooting for him. I guess I would be the same way too, as well, due to the fact that I didn't even knew this kid was going to actually be like this. If I didn't know this kid was going to actually be this, I would have actually, well, there would have been a possibility of me just saying it's going to be hard and it's probably never going to work. But at the same time, this kid actually, well, he technically killed somebody in my suit. And All Might's like, wait, what? Stark, what do you mean? And this is when Stark just says, calm down. I knew that it was an accident. He would never have dreamed of killing someone. But the fact that he did, and the fact that he felt remorse. But not only that, he knew now that if he had to kill, he would do it. This kid right here is actually someone who's willing to put aside all of his, well, all of the things that makes him stop and actually goes for the gold. But I also think that it's important for him to actually mature. I didn't judge him because I knew that it was an accident, and I knew that this was his first time. So I'm going to at least wait until the day either he makes it or breaks it. So, this kid right now, and while they're talking still, basically Deku has just been running around and actually been destroying stuff. Now, knowing the fact that he can't technically use any weapons for right now, he pretty much just started to, well, he grabbed, no, he didn't grab anything. He actually started to punch, like, the robots that were there. And pretty much while punching them, he started to build up a lot of kinetic energy. And the thing is, it gets stronger. So every time he punches once, he'll give you the same punch twice as strong. And that's what he's been doing, actually building up energy and just dishing it out, quick burst. So after doing this for a couple of times and actually helping some people, giving them some rescue points and some hero points at the same time. While that's happening, basically the robot's been sent soon, because Nezu, of all people, heard this and said, well, it's time to put your little theory to the test. Is he going to win or is he going to lose? Who knows, to be honest. But right now, I want to see it from my own eyes. How strong is this kid? And this is when Deku just starts hearing the zero pointer and actually thinks to himself, well, that's nothing new. Now, what's going to happen is pretty much a make or break for Deku. After seeing how huge this robot is, and after seeing two people stuck in there, they actually, these two people screamed out and asking for someone to help. No one helped them. And this is when Deku had this realization again. You see, because there were some people that died during those times when Deku was there. So let's cut to where the incident happened when he was in the suit. People did die. If I said that there was no people that died, there was no people let me say this. There was nobody important that died. There were some people that died. And some of them were right there in front of Deku when he was in that suit. When he felt powerless, he had a chance to help them out. He could have at least either got their attention and helped them a little bit, or at least done something, distract them. No, he stood silent. And no one was bothering to help them. And this is when Deku actually started to get mad. And while Deku was running, he's building up kinetic energy. You see, here's the thing. Deku is pretty much gripping his hands, pushing all his muscles into one setting, while running as well. You see, the whole body builds up kinetic energy on a day-to-day basis. You don't feel it because it's inside your body. He's generating it. While generating it, how would I say this? While generating the power that he has, it's pretty much building up. Like a grenade, it's impacted until it explodes. But Deku has been training it to where he's storing up even more power. So while this is happening, Ochako, or not Ochako, who was that person that helped him out? No. There was one of the persons that passed by Deku. I'm sorry, not Ida. Ida passed by him, saying that it's too late, they should run away. And this is when Deku just was running and helping out the two people. Grabbing their, technically he was grabbing their the rubble off of them, and he just started throwing it. And pretty much this is when Deku has the suit on already. And Deku just starts to see that the robot's not looking at him. Deku just starts to, how would I say this? He starts to actually fly up into the sky. Everyone's saying that it's an illegal move, or not an illegal move. It's a foul play. But Nezu did say that there was technically no restrictions. So not only that, Deku, basically Stark got the suit, legalized, or they basically it was allowed to be on school premises. So Deku didn't, by technicality, He didn't do nothing bad. Although he doesn't know that would have been bad if, how would I say this? If he didn't know what was going to happen, or if he didn't know that the suit was a good thing or a bad thing, he would have actually gotten, you know, expelled for that in that test. But Deku just starts to fly up, and after that starts punching it. And while this is happening, the robot's now actually paying attention to Deku. And this is when Deku just grabs one of the hands, and this is when the hand pretty much flings him out of the way. And he actually starts to hit everything, or hit the rubble and hit the the building. But what happened was this: Deku actually felt this energy stored up to him by a lot, and this is when Deku feels this kind of energy pulling through. So this is when Deku just starts to run towards the freaking zero pointer and actually slams it in the freaking back. Or not in the back, in one of its arms, and actually break its arm so it just fell down. The zero pointer saw it and was about to punch him, but Deku flew away, grabbing his shield, and actually pretty much taking the brunt force of all of the attack. You see, Deku's weapons have been modified as well to take in kinetic energy and store it to Izuku. So Deku actually basically shot out a spear with a tiny rope into the freaking zero pointer. And Deku knew how to do this since the suit's telling him what to do. And this is when it shoots out a major shock of electricity. Because, if you guys didn't remember what I said, it's basically lightning or electricity, and basically physical. So Deku's just shocks the living heck out of this guy, and basically the robot's dying. So with that out of the way, Deku is pretty much shocked it, and this is when Deku just pretty much rams his freaking fist into the freaking eye of the robot, and this is when he explodes and shoots out because Deku wasn't actually paying attention, and he fell down, well, basically breathing very hard. And this is when Stark is now there saying, "Oh, look at that, you did it, kid." Pretty much All Might saying, "Who are you talking to?" And this is when this is when Stark says, "Oh, I'm talking to my kid. I have a built-in radio system or a built-in speaker to tell him how proud I was." And not only that, Nezu just says, "This is actually fascinating. I didn't know that this kid who has your suit, I'm technically wondering if that's your suit." And this is when he says, "Oh no, I have like a bunch of them in my house. You don't have to worry about that. That's not my suit. My suit's much more deadlier than that. Actually, I'm planning to modify Deku's suit." And this is when they're like, "Oh, are you now?" Now, Deku pretty much is looking at All Might, or not All Might, he's looking at the two girls, and pretty much he says, "Oh, wait a minute, I know you, and I don't know you. Will you guys tell me your names?" And this is when Ochako says, "My name's Ochako. I actually wanted to get your name earlier. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for helping me." And this is when Momo says, "Hi, I'm Momo Yayurozu. Thank you so much for helping me. I'm lucky to be alive." And this is when Deku says, "Yeah, you're welcome. Now, I gotta go. But hopefully you guys actually passed with flying colors. And yeah, I'll see you later." And just shoots into the sky. And pretty much Deku is, after the next day talking to Tony, basically he says this: "Well, I'm proud of you. I'm actually glad you won. And Deku says, really? I don't think I actually did that much. And this is when Stark says, oh boy, sorry about that. Ugh. This is when Stark says, nonsense, look at you. You destroyed you destroyed that big ass robots. Not only that, saved 2 chicks and possibly got one of their numbers, and not only that, got the respect of a #1 hero in both countries. So you're pretty much good. And this is when he says both countries, but you're American. And this is when All Might steps in and says, ha ha ha, I am here. And this is when Deku says, wait, All Might? Stark, this is one of my favorite heroes. Yeah! And this is when basically Stark says, I know. This is actually someone who's going to train you. And this is when he says, wait, what? And this is when All Might says, oh yes, I am going to train you. You see, after talking to Stark, I realized I made a grave mistake. You too can be a hero. And I will be honored if you will let me train you. And this is when Deku's like, wow, that's a big honor right there. And this is when Stark says, yeah, really big honor. Are you going to take it? I pretty much told him. And he agreed. If you want to say no, that's your choice. I recommended him for you. So now Deku has 2 weeks of training. Of actual hardcore training. Because he trained to understand how to use his powers, but now to fight. Deku's been learning the Spartan way for quite a while. And this is when Deku says, alright, well, I guess I'll learn from the #1 hero. And this is when, basically, Deku just starts to say, I'll meet you in the other room. And give me a second here, people. And I'm back. Now, I also want to discuss a couple of things with you guys right at this moment. Ever since the whole talk with All Might and Tony actually gave him a gift, which actually will help him out in the later future in the anime. But Tony gave him basically implants to where his I forgot, I think where his organs, some of his organs were. Yeah, Tony actually made implants to actually keep the organs, or at least replace the organs. So All Might actually has organs, or he's basically kind of like like a better All Might, but at the same time he doesn't spill out blood, but at the same time his quirk is no longer his. It's as if the quirk knows itself that the body is weak. It's no longer strong as it used to be. So All Might is still not getting the quirk as he may have his original quirk, the one where he can basically become bigger, All Might, but he's no longer all for one, or one for all Might. So yeah, a trade-in. So he's still a little bit more stronger, but he's not as effective. He's a little more effective, but not too effective. But All Might was forever grateful because of the whole fact that he doesn't have to cough up blood every now and then. He could still keep his original, he could still be All Might. He could still be like, I am here, instead of, hey kid, you want to smoke some crack? Got a lot of crack in here, man. That kind of All Might. Oh gosh, that did not. Oh boy. So anyway, after that, Deku learned hand-to-hand combat, but at the same time he's learning Hema. And not only that, learning the way how to thrust the spear. Because he wasn't thrusting the spear correctly. He was just pretty much just trying to do some weird kind of cool moves, but at the same time, he has to learn how to use a spear properly and a shield properly. So he started to read a lot of books on Spartans. So he kept the red, he kept the gold, but he did put the he did somewhat put some the floof on top of the head. And the cape is, I don't know if I want to keep the cape, but I think I'm going to put the cape on there. But the thing is, it's on his original body. It's not on his, not on the iron suit. So yeah. Now, he also got the 4 limbs, or not limbs. They're basically, he's got the 4, whatever it's called. The 4 spider legs from Stark. So yeah, that's a thing. Not only that, Deku's pretty much progressing in his capabilities. So Deku and All Might have been fighting for a while, without the whole suit, and actually just starting to fight. Pretty much learning that All Might's pretty much strong, but he's not combat smart. So Deku's using this to his advantage, somewhat blocking or parrying his attacks. Not only that, to somewhat just outmaneuvering him. And with all the power that Deku has been receiving from the punches, he somewhat stores in half of it and let All Might believe that it's connecting. Although the punches still hurt, don't get me wrong. Deku's still taking a punch like a champ. It's hurting him at the same time. So, after all that, basically the iron suit is storing up the kinetic energy, and then after a couple of hits and a basic swift, punch to the face by Deku, releasing most of the kinetic energy, Deku pretty much punches him, and it doesn't knock him out, but All Might's like, well, well, kid, that's sorry about that. Well, kid, as much as I might say it's weak, you're still progressing, and that is something good. Now, I am going to offer you, and you know what's going to happen here. He offers one for all. Deku doesn't actually take it. I'm not going to do it right now. It's going to be later, though. So, this is when All Might says, but you really don't want the power? You can get stronger. You can become much more powerful. And this is when Deku says, hey, you know what? Give it to Miria. You know, just do what you were supposed to do in the beginning. You know? And this is when he's thinking, you know what? That is something. You know what? All Might keep it right now. You will need it in the future. I don't know why I'm saying this. Wink, wink, hint, hint. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I think it's better if you just hold it on right now. Wait until we're progressed far enough, and I'll make my decision on who. And the reason why All Might's letting this happen is because he feels like he should owe him that much. After thinking that Deku is weak and him proving him wrong, like, yeah, I know it's kind of a reckless thing, but Deku does kind of have that right now because I said so. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to, say that Deku, after the whole fight and after All Might gone, Stark talks to him and says that he's proud of him because he actually was strong enough to fight. Or this is actually reminding Stark of the days when he used to, talk to Peter. And all the other people that he knew. Not only that, Deku did talk to Ochako because, yeah, it's the next day, and if you guys don't know what the ship is, it's actually going to be Ochako and Momo. Why? Well, because I like them. I haven't actually had those two had that two of a combo, and yeah, pretty much it. Now, Deku pretty much goes in Class 1A. Aizawa's there. They're talking. They're like, whoa, that's the kid that basically, that's the son of Iron Man. And Ida was like, oh crap, I talk crap into another country's, #1 hero. Allow me to, let me just rub your balls since, I screwed up here. Let me just give you that help. And that doesn't sound like a good analogy. Basically, he was, I can't say bow down. He pretty much apologized and Deku forgave him. I should have led with that. But anyway, I think that Deku is pretty much going to forgive them. Bakugo's mad at him, staring him down, and this is when Deku says, "Hello, Ka-chan. Hello, nerd. So, how's that burnt book? How's that burnt book doing for you? I don't know, Bakugo. How's that second place doing for you? Oh, fudge. There's going to be a fight." And this is when Aizawa, is seeing all the Class 1A is kind of in a rumble. And pretty much just talks them down, lowly, just very low. Deku's like, okay, so we got a teacher. He looks like he's pretty much a hobo, but you know what? Let's not judge. He's basically, oh wow, we get freaking Eraserhead. Oh boy. So this is when, Aizawa talks to everyone. He says, oh wow, so, Iron Man's kid is here. That's nothing. No, that's okay. That's cool. And pretty much he's like, so I can't train you with your quirk. Deku says, no, I have a power. I just don't have a quirk. I don't think he'll say that because, yeah, people would think, oh, wait, what? This kid doesn't have a quirk? He has powers? Powers? But, yeah, enough of all that. Pretty much Deku is just doing his own thing. He's vibing right now because right now is going to be the quirk apprehension test. By technicality, Deku doesn't really need to do it. You know why? Because Deku doesn't have a quirk. He has a power, but he doesn't have a quirk. He does the rest of the test, but the quirk thing he doesn't really have to do. He just throws the ball, and since he's allowed to use his technology, he pretty much gets it to, let's say, 1,000, up in the air because, he shot it that far. With also the kinetic energy. Oh boy. With also the kinetic energy. So Deku's pretty much Gucci here. I don't like saying that. He's pretty much okay here. So I'm going to end it off right here. There's really nothing to do. And I guess I'm going to do my next video. Also, does Deku the Xenomorph sound interesting to you? Let me know down below. You know what? I'll go on my live stream after once I'm actually asleep. So yeah. Now anyway, like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout with a Fear. Bye.